Hey guys, this is Alfred back with another video. I'm sorry for not uploading for the past few weeks. I've been pretty busy, but right now I have some time, so I really want to make this video right now because Yae Miko has came out for a week and I had a lot of fun testing her with a few team comps. So this is the team comp that I found the most fun, which is the Yae Tazer team comp. Now how this team comp works, Yae is the main DPS, we have an electro battery, and we have a hydro applier to make the electro reaction possible, and finally an amplifier, probably a Viridescent user because Viridescent is really overpowered right now and it can really amplify weak reactions like this. With that out of the way, let's begin with Yae Miko's build, and we can talk about the builds of the other characters as well. So for Yae Miko's best installed weapon is definitely the cupcake holder. If you have it, just use it on her, it's way too good. If not, any of the offensive 5-star weapons are pretty good, so something like this Lost Sprayer or the Skyward Atlas. However, if you were to choose either one of them, I would pick the Skyward Atlas. Try not to pick the Lost Sprayer because the stat is not that bad, but the passive is not really that good because it wants you to stay in the field. Unfortunately, Yae Miko, her kit doesn't really allow this to happen. However, if you want to use a 5-star weapon, you can still use this Lost Sprayer. It's a really good stat stick overall. If you don't have any of the 5-star options that I've mentioned, you can go something like the Widsith. This is a gacha weapon. However, if you've been rolling weapon banner, and not even weapon banner, sometimes you might get it from standard banner or the event limited banner, you can get this weapon. This weapon's really good. You have a 1 in 3 chance of getting a really bad roll whenever you use this weapon. However, even the worst roll, which is the EM one, is not even that bad because Yae Miko's elemental burst scales with EM, so more EM is good. Although the scaling is not that high, every bit of damage counts, so even this is not too bad. With the best stat you can get is the 60% attack. Now if you don't have Widsith, the Battle Pass option Solar Pearl is also really good, but for those of you non-spenders out there, there's this really good weapon that just came out with the new event, the Oathsworn Eye. This weapon increases your ER by 10% after using elemental skill, and remember, you have it 3 times. It doesn't say you can't stack it, so I'm assuming you can. So this weapon is pretty good because Yae Miko has a really major ER problem or ER weakness that she requires a lot of ER in order to make sure that she gets her burst up every rotation. And now a lesser known option is the Hakushin Ring. This weapon is really underrated, but it's actually really good because it only triggers with an electro elemental reaction, which is suitable for Yae, and as long as you trigger the reaction with electro itself, so let's say you apply hydro and then you trigger with electro, you can get the electro elemental damage bonus for the element itself. So it's not only for Yae Miko, but your electro battery can also gain elemental reaction damage itself. If you don't have any of this, you can use another offensive 4-star weapon like the Dodoko Tail and Eye of Perception. However, I would like to say that Yae Miko does not auto attack a lot, so beware because these passives cannot be utilized really well with Yae Miko. Although the weapon itself gives a lot of attack, just make sure that you can only use this as a last resort if you don't have Widsith, Oathsworn or Hakushin Ring. Now for artifact, there's a lot of options you can go with Yae Miko. You can go 2-piece Emblem, you can go 2-piece Shimenawa, you can go 2-piece Gladiator. Those 3 are the most famous options out there. 2-piece Thunder Fury also being an option. Other lesser known options, which I don't really recommend, but if you're really desperate, you can go 2-piece Noblesse, or you can go 2-piece Wanderer, because Wanderer gives EM. As I said earlier, her burst scales with EM, so more EM is really good. However, I don't really recommend this because the scaling it's pretty much negligible, but every piece of damage counts. If you're really desperate, if you're starting out the game, you beat up a lot of bosses, and you have a lot of Wanderer, just go it. I can't recommend 4-piece Thunder Suitor. If you're running this, I don't recommend you play this Tazer team because this set requires the electro buff to be on your opponent the whole time. So a lot of people saying 4-piece Tenacity works. However, that's with Yae Miko being a sub DPS and not a main DPS like in this team, so I can't really recommend it as well. However, if you really don't have other artifacts to run, can go 4-piece set, although you will lose a lot of damage. Yes, you buff your other characters, but that's not the purpose of this team comp itself. So for what artifacts subsets to build, obviously the first main 2 is crit rate, crit damage, with the ratio of 1:2 or 1:3 if your crit rate is really high enough. For energy recharge, in this team specifically, I would recommend around 150 to 170% ER. If you can manage your ER pretty well, you can have your burst up every rotation. In my opinion, the stat priority is crit rate first, followed by ER, and then attack. As you can see, attack is not even that high. Even if it's high, if you can't get your burst up every rotation, your DPS overall will decrease. So make sure to have at least 150% energy recharge, maximum 170. You can go a little over that like mine. So now that we're done with Yae Miko, I'll talk really briefly about the other characters' builds. On Xingqiu, you want either 4-piece Emblem of Severed Fate or 2-piece Noblesse, 2-piece Glad or Shiminawa, it doesn't really matter. And your weapon being Sacrificial Fragment, so you can generate more energy particles for himself. For Sucrose, obviously you want the 4-piece Viridescent Venerer. Her weapon of choice is either the Sacrificial Fragment, which gives EM, so you can have additional EM on your Sucrose to give to your Yae Miko, or you can use Hakushin Ring as well, although the rotation is going to be a little different if you have a Hakushin Ring on Sucrose. And lastly, for my Raiden Shogun, and everyone else Raiden Shogun, 4-piece Emblem of Severed Fate with any of the Raiden Shogun weapons that you can use, so either Engulfing Lightning or the Catch, it doesn't matter, either one of them is pretty good. Now for substitutes, the core pieces is Yae Miko and the Electro Battery, so you can easily substitute Raiden Shogun with Fischl. Both of them serve the purpose of generating electro particles for Yae Miko, so as long as you can funnel the elemental reaction particles to her, all is good in this world. For the Hydro Applier, Xingqiu is the best. However, if you look at this team, there's no healer, so you can easily substitute it for Barbara. This is the free-to-play option, or Kokomi if you have. If you want more damage, if you want to spice things up or use Xingqiu in another team, you can use Mona as well. She provides more damage than Xingqiu because of the Omen debuff with her burst, but I feel like Xingqiu is a safer option because he doesn't heal a lot, but he still does a lot of damage with the Emblem of Severed Fate, so that's why I still recommend Xingqiu. But if you want to put Mona, I can't go against you. She's also a really good character if you have it. And lastly, for a Nimble character, Sucrose is the best in slot for free to play. If you don't have Sucrose, you can run something like Sayu for healing, Venti as well, but these are like more expensive options. Sucrose is pretty much the most free to play you can ever get. If you have, you can use Kazuha, which is better than Sucrose actually in this team. Just remember, Sucrose is pretty much the best in slot right here. It can't really change Sucrose that much. Now for rotations, there's a lot of variations to this team comp. So the Yae Tazer team comp has a lot of different characters that you can use in it, so it's really hard to give an accurate rotation of what to do. But generally speaking, if you use this really general rotation, you should be able to funnel particles correctly for Yae Miko. First of all, you're gonna use your Electro Battery characters, so either your Raiden or Fischl. You're gonna press E to make sure that they have their ability up on field while you're using the rest of your characters. After that, swap to Sucrose and Swirl. I recommend pressing E to give EM to Yae Miko. After that, you can use Yae Miko's turrets, all 3, before using her burst. You need to make sure you use all 3 because her burst really needs all 3 to do a lot of damage. And after you use your burst, use your 3 turrets once again. After that, you can use your Hydro Applier, so that can be your Xingqiu, your Mona, your Kokomi, either one of them. And if you're using Raiden Shogun, make sure to use the burst followed by Sucro burst before using Raiden Shogun. Or if you're using Fischl, you don't really have to use the burst, but if you want more damage, you can go ahead. And generally speaking, if you follow that rotation while swirling Electro every now and then with Sucrose or Kazuha, you should be fine. Generally speaking, you do a lot of damage, your energy particles will be funneled correctly as well. So for pros and cons for this team, the first pro is that this team is really easy to build. Remember, if you don't have any of the 5 stars, there's actually a relevant 4-star to substitute for it. It's really easy to build. The only 5-star really needed is Yae. If not, you can't really use this team. The second pro is that this is the strongest Yae team at the moment. I've tried many teams. They're either really clunky or they can't have a very consistent loop for Yae Miko's burst. So this is why, in my opinion, this is one of the strongest Yae team. And now for cons, the first con is that this team is really hard to pilot at times because the rotations are pretty clunky. There's no fixed rotation. You will have to adapt on the fly and constantly swirl with your Anemo character. Once you get used to this team, then I don't think that the rotation is gonna be much of a hindrance for you. The second con is that if you're using the team I'm using, there's actually a lack of healer, with the only healer being like Xingqiu, which isn't even a healer. So you really need to play perfectly. If you decide to bring a healer like Barbara or Kokomi, you might find that you won't be doing as much damage as I do. If you really are not confident in playing without a healer, then I suggest you can start by playing a healer. Once you get used to the team, you can swap back to Xingqiu. And the last con being that this team in particular uses 2 core support units, which is Sucrose and Xingqiu, like I said. So if you're building 2 teams in Spiral Abyss, this might affect you a little bit, but once again, you can easily substitute Xingqiu for someone like Mona, Kokomi, or Barbara. So now, should you invest in this team comp? In my opinion, it's a definite yes if you have Yae Miko. Remember, this team is really easy to build. You just need Yae Miko, and the 3 other characters can be 4 stars, which I really hope you guys already have because they're really easy to get. Definitely, if you have Yae Miko and you want to find a practical use for her, you should really invest in this team comp. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. We have hit over 1,000 views on the previous Xiao national team video, which is pretty insane, which I've never thought I would be able to do. So it's all thanks to you guys' support, so I appreciate it. If you like videos like this, please subscribe because we'll be doing more videos like this in the future of similar content. I will be doing a Spiral Biz run with Yae Miko or Kaching, either one of them in the future. If you enjoyed this video as well, please leave a like. It shows me that you like content like this and I can do more in the future. And leave a comment what kind of teams or characters you'd like to see in the near future itself. And with that, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.